Okay, guys, let's talk positions, ranges of motion, and tempo. For your positions in the upcoming videos, know that these movements can be performed in basically any position. So if you want to try different ones that I don't describe in a moment, check out the postures lesson in Restore. Each position is going to offer a different way to train these movement patterns. I demonstrate these exercises in a split standing position in this course. Know that in order to effectively train in this position, you have to have your split standing stability down that you learned in last section or in section 1 of Revitalize. I like to utilize this position because it's a great way to prime the deep and the outer core just by the position alone. But just because it's helpful to know, here are the other positions I would use if time was not a thing. And then a few key tips to get the most out of your training in each of these positions. Set position, feet side by side, standing in neutral. And helpful prerequisites to know before you choose this is you got to keep your rib cage stacked over your pelvis and your spine relatively in neutral. Also, have an awareness of your feet, knees, and hips, especially if you're more on the mobile side, because those joints will be sneaky areas that that failed load transfer can occur at. Half kneeling position, so one leg is bent and you're kneeling. Helpful prerequisites here is the ability to keep your spine and pelvis stacked in a neutral position, relatively speaking, while one side of your hip flexors are stretched. And then you also have to have balance in this position. So in this position, you've got to use your deep core a little bit differently so you're not twisted. And I bet you that you'll notice a different side to side. This is kind of the case in split standing position, but not to the same degree. The other position being a quadruped position or a plank position. Helpful prerequisites here is you have to be able to actively support the weight of your body while keeping your spine and rib cage stacked and in a relatively neutral position. You also have to have an awareness of your shoulder girdle, elbow, wrist, and like I said before, especially if you're on the more mobile side with joints. When I say actively being able to support the weight of your body, you're not just resting, you're actively participating through the muscles of the shoulder girdle and then below from the elbow and the wrist. Okay, let's talk range of motion. Just like with previous sections, you will select the range of motion that you can control without your spine moving and without significant compensations. I don't expect perfection. It's not possible. And this is all about learning. So don't look for perfection. Tempo. So how fast you're moving. For the purpose of the course, the tempo is going to be slow. But just for your information, I often use these tempos. 202, 121, 404, 131, where the first number is the time it takes in seconds to get to in the first phase of the motion. The second number is the hold period at a given range of motion for the exercise. And then the third number is the time in seconds it takes you to get back to the starting position. If people have a hard time with recruiting certain muscles and muscle groups, I utilize a hold at a shortened range. So if it's working your glutes, it would be hip extended position. And that could be anywhere from 5 seconds to 30 seconds, depending on what you can do. In the next section, we'll talk how to select resistance and options of what you can use as a mode of resistance.